Hello, everyone, and welcome to the P1 Broadcasting Channel. You've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear, and we are live from one of the oldest and most storied road circuits in all of North America. It's Lime Rock Park, buddy. Welcome to Connecticut.
Welcome to Connecticut, indeed. We very rarely ever go here, not only for stock car history or in these trucks, but just in general in terms of racing. This is one of the few tracks that are kind of like publicly known in the northeast portion of the United States. And well, we got the trucks here, and well, NASCAR or any stock cars really aren't too familiar with this place. They've only had a handful of races, whether it be the Truck Series or past series, with the Modifieds or the K&Ns or ARCA, that this is really kind of an unfamiliar place for most of these drivers here.
You know, it is unfamiliar for most of the stock car drivers, but it is not unfamiliar to the sports car crowd. This track opened in 1957. It is the third oldest continuously operating road racing circuit in North America, after Road America, which was built in 1955, and Willow Springs, which was built in 1953. A lot of its fame comes from the fact that for a long time this was basically one of the spiritual homes of sports car racing in the United States, and we'll talk a little bit about that sports car history as we go tonight. The track, 1.53 miles, so it is not long. It is not very technical either, Caleb. Just 7 corners. There are no real chicanes or hairpins or any sort of really difficult corners. It races very much like an oval, and it's very well suited to the NASCAR stock car machinery, trucks, Grand National. I would even argue that they would do very well to have a cup race here. This track very well suited to those types of cars. Past winners here. Well, it reads like a who's who of North American motorsport, including some guy named Roger Penske won a race here. Other drivers: Mario Andretti, Sterling Moss, Dan Gurney, Sam Posey, Mark Donohue, Parnelli Jones, Alexander Rossi, Tom Cruise, Paul Newman. They've all taken their turns here and won races. The race that I'm referring to, Roger Penske won. He won the Little Le Mans in 1959 in a Fiat Arbath. Most people don't realize, Caleb, Roger Penske was a handy driver in his own right. He was driver of the year in 1961.
Yeah, a great team owner and a great driver as well. But very, very way back in the day, before even before my dad was even born, old Roger used to drive back in the day.
Yeah, he's very good. So tell me about Lime Rock. Tell me about driving around this place. You mentioned that for a road course, they shift the same number of times that they do at Pocono.
Yeah, they do. It's kind of one of the unique things. I was test driving it earlier. Obviously, like you said, only 7 turns around here. No chicanes with this layout. Most of the times with the sports car side, you got a chicane in turn number 4. The trucks here are actually going to run the old classic layout, in which you got that long sweeping uphill right, instead of taking the chicane that's right there with it. And well, it's all about throttle management. The truck really likes to, the rear end likes to get very, very happy in a lot of places, especially like that turn 4 we talked about, the uphill right. And then right before the final corner, there's another downhill right there, and the truck really likes to step out in that as well. There's also just a little bit of banking in both turns 2 and 3, in which the truck really likes to step away if you're not careful on the power as well. And then you said earlier with the gears, well, you can kind of ride in third gear basically from the braking zone of turn 1 all the way to basically the last corner. You could ride third gear, just be comfortable, just managing the throttle and just keeping the power down in certain areas. And then you shift up to 4th on the front straightaway, and then you ride 4th and then shift down again. And that's your only shifting points around this track, Murph.
Yeah, it's with the gear ratios, the gearboxes in these trucks, You don't shift a whole lot. It's basically right around in the same gear. It is a situation where turns 1 and 2, and you can kind of see them at the front of this shot here that we've got for the pre-race. Turns 1 and 2, it's almost like a double apex 180 flat corner. It's a little bit longer than a turn at Martinsville, perhaps, but very much a short track style corner, double apex. And then you go through turns 3 and 4, and just as you said, Caleb, those corners are difficult because you can kind of see it. There's not a lot of visual references around here. Most of the runoff is just a flat lawn. It's not like Road America where you can pick a tree or something, to base where you're at. It's very difficult sometimes to get your bearings. Turns 3 and 4, very much momentum corners. So is turn 5. And then when you get to turn 6, you mentioned the trickiness of that corner, both being off camber. If you do not place your truck correctly there, you actually will leave the pavement. It's almost like a jump, and that's why you see the modern sports cars, when they run here, they run chicanes either at turn 4 or turn 5, so that they don't have to worry with that jump. It can get kind of dicey trying to get the car down the back straight into turn 6, which is another difficult corner, and then turn 7 at the downhill can be tricky too. You shift once up going down the front straightaway, you shift down again going into turn 1, and then, well, you ride around in third gear the rest of the time. As far as lap times here go, Caleb, the track record is held for the overall by Juan Manuel Fangio II in an Eagle Mark III. I think we talked about that last night. 45-105, 1993 Lime Rock Grand Prix. The truck record here, so NASCAR trucks, Caleb, 54-941. We are well under that tonight.
Yeah, we are nearly, just in these practice times, admittedly, is a little bit cooler on track than what they did last year. I remember last year's race was particularly very, very hot for those guys. But we are nearly 2 seconds. Well, we are actually over 2 seconds faster than what the trucks did last year. We are the fastest time right now in practice set by Matthew White, the newest face in the AMA, making his Truck Series debut, a 52.5. So, and there's quite a few number of drivers. The top 4 are actually under the 53-second bracket. And majority of these drivers, all the way down to about Paul Witt in P13, are all lapping faster than Corey Heim did in that race last year. So we are going significantly faster in sim than we are in real life.
We are. One of the other things we were kind of talking with Logan Edwards earlier today, just kind of about his thoughts. Last year, Ryan O'Donoghue dominated this race, wound up in an accident late with a lap vehicle. Didn't get to bring home the trophy. O'Donoghue second quick right now. Circling among other favorites, Justin Osterman runs very well here, Caleb. And never count out the old narc brain, Logan Edwards. Amongst the drivers at the front, he's probably got the most road racing experience. Very, very, very quick. In an open wheel car here, if you remember, he was on the podium in the IndyCar Open Series race we had here. You want to talk about wild. Those cars lapping around here at 45 seconds and change. That was nuts. Or excuse me, it wasn't 45 seconds. It was
35.
It was 35. Yeah, it was 35 seconds. It was wild to see a modern IndyCar rip around here, and of course, that's why they don't race here. Even when IMSA comes back, and we were talking about this earlier, even when IMSA comes here, they only run the GT3 and LMP3 cars. They do not run the full-on GTPs here. It'd be way too quick. With that said, we're getting ready to run for the SimShot Pole Award. Do want to thank everybody for tuning in, joining in with us tonight. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, and let's have a look at one of our qualifiers, kind of give you a tour around here. Here's Sean Roberts. And so we'll follow Sean on his qualifying lap, get the telemetry up for everybody at home. The number 33 Ford F-150. And you'll see how very simple this is to get around here. Simple looking, not so simple in practice. And Caleb, when we jump on board, the fans at home will get a sense of how little in terms of visual reference there is for the drivers around this track.
Yeah, you could see, as you know, this is one of the trickiest corners that Sean is coming up to, or just passed right now, is that uphand right-hander. This corner is a little bit easy, but you got to be careful on the exit because you immediately drop away. And in both those sections of elevation, the truck gets very, very light, and it's very easy to lose the rear end through those sections. We'll see Sean Roberts coming across the start-finish line and blinks out for a little bit, but downshifts once, kind of holds third gear going through turns 1 and 2, is technically 2 corners through that. Into the left-hander of 3. The left-hander of 3 is actually slightly banked, and it's very easy to lose the rear end under braking, actually, through that left-hand bit. It's also very easy to lose the rear end, particularly in that little right-hand kink after turn 4. Then this is the trickiest part of the track. The truck on the top end really likes the wheel spin. You got to make sure your steering wheel is absolutely as straight as possible when going over it. Turn 6 is actually pretty straightforward. You just got to worry about the exit. Kind of lift off much earlier than you need to, and you go through the last corner, and then you're back on the front straightaway. Very, very short lap time for a road course. We'll see what Sean Roberts is able to do here to complete his first lap, which is a 53.4. That's going to put him provisional pole here in the early running.
It is. He goes 53.445. Jason Phillips, Austin Hunn, Troy Carricker, and Paul Witt were your top 5. Kendall Paul sets a faster lap, 53.032, as we watch Sean Roberts circulate. Let's have a look in at the old narc brain, Logan Edwards. Here he is in the Team I5G machine on his first of 2 laps. Let's see what this would be. Probably along with Kendall Paul, one of the first serious bidders for the pole position. Logan Edwards looks really good coming through turn 7 back toward the start-finish line, Caleb.
He does indeed. You immediately notice how smooth he is with the throttle and steering applications, but he's going to lose the rear end going into turn number 1. Unfortunately, his second lap was basically being thrown away here. We know Logan could have gone faster than that, but unfortunately, well, he's going to have to settle for his first lap attempt here at Lime Rock. That's going to put him provisional. Well, right now it's going to be 4th place, but we know Logan is very good on long pace runs in the road courses, so we'll see how he does over the course of the next 150 miles.
We will take a look at Dylan Grutzmeyer. He is across the line for his second tour at Lime Rock. Grutzmeyer's first lap, 57.454, and it did not count. He did get himself a 1X, so good to see Dylan Grutzmeyer on the track. He's got my number, Caleb.
He does. This is his AMA debut, actually, here at Lime Rock. So good to see a new face in the league. We'll see how he does. Navigating the uphill right, gets a little bit wide. Keeps it out of the wall, though. That still might count. I don't think that's an off track if you get that close to the wall there, but we'll see how he goes into the final corner here. See if he's able to keep it on track. A little bit dabbing the brakes onto the front straightaway. He had a little bit of a moment, but this should be a decent lap for him.
He did, 54.038, but it does not count. Yes, it does. He goes to 9th quick. Last car on track here will go for Matt Sisler, the 3 Birdies Ram on the course. He's going to have to get back from here in about 13 seconds, and he's at turn number 5. I don't know that he's going to have a chance to do that. Big air for Sisler, and he is not going to make it back to the start-finish line. Matt Sisler will not get a qualifying time in that 3 Birdies Ram, and well, that means we've got a starting grid, Caleb. On the pole with a lap of 52.598, it's Ryan O'Donohue. Justin Osterman, Mr. Excitement, will start alongside in second. Row 2, Kendall Paul and the old narc brain Logan Edwards. Row 3, Jason Phillips, Austin Hunt, Sean Roberts, Troy Carricker. Make up row 4, Dylan Grutzmacher. John Houchins will round out your top 10. In 11th, we've got Paul Witt, then Jim Duda, and Matt Wagner. Matty Wags, the final truck to take time. And I think he just took a slow one, so he didn't have to start in the back. Matthew White will start next to him in 14th. Matt Sisler, David Dunwoody, 15th and 16th. Say hey, Lewis Hayes. Ted Craven, 17th and 18th. Rounding out the 20-car field, it's Jeremy Dunwoody and Andrew Gates. Remember, everybody from Matthew White in 14th on back did not set a time, and they will line up according to iRating. The winner of your Sim Shop Pole Award is Ryan O'Donohue. That's www.simshop.com. Just keep driving, Caleb. Just to kind of circle around the rules tonight, it is 100 laps, 153 miles in the Track Racer 150 this evening. Stages are going to go at 35 and 70. We do not anticipate that there will be any stops tonight for fuel, Caleb. Is that correct? The stages should be sufficient?
That should be correct, and especially considering that the third stage, which is usually the longest, well, this time around, third stage is actually going to be the shortest. We have an inverse of what we typically see, and these trucks, can easily make, the maximum stint here is 35 laps, so these trucks can easily make that distance.
Most certainly can. Get a look off the rear of the pace truck as it heads around Lime Rock. Field forming up behind. 20 trucks signed in tonight, and that's not bad considering it's summer, Caleb, and it's a road course. Typically when you get leagues into the summertime, you get people on vacation. We know James Hodgson's on vacation. That guy's been sending back pictures from Japan. Social media. So always good to see people out having fun, enjoying real life. But we do have business to tend to tonight in the sim. Do want to thank everybody for joining in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1. We also want to thank Archway Industrial Coatings for their support of the series as we get ready to do battle here in the Track Racer 150 from Lime Rock. And there's the crest of that hill. Great. It's a great shot to see the trucks crest that hill, Caleb. That is a wicked that is a wicked situation there. Under the Airstream Bridge through the downhill, we're going to make the right at turn 7. The pace truck is going to turn to the right. We're going to jump up in the flag stand, and we are just about ready to go. Barney's got the green flag in the air, Caleb. Ryan O'Donohue leads Justin Osterman down, and we are underway. 100 laps here at Lime Rock.
Yeah, O'Donohue gets a decent jump, but so does Logan Edwards. He's going to try to thread it 3 wide, but Justin Osterman sends it really deep on the outside. Still got Ryan O'Donohue alongside him. Logan Edwards jumps into the third place spot, is now looking up the inside. Ryan O'Donohue, Justin Osterman immediately shoots out to the lead here. Logan Edwards immediately follows him into second place, and now Logan Edwards is looking for the lead going on to the San Posey Straight.
Logan Edwards, Justin Osterman, they touch, headed toward turn number 5. Can Logan Edwards establish position over the brow of the hill? He is now your new leader, Logan Edwards. We've got a car around in the back. That's Paul
29.
Witt. Yeah, that's Paul Witt.
Hard into the wall.
That is Paul Witt. We're going to go back and check on what happened to Paul here in just a couple of moments. Paul Witt hard in the inside wall, and he does have...
After this, there's another incident involving Matt Sisler and Ted Craven. Actually, a couple of trucks, as a matter of fact. So after Paul Witt's incident, it seemed like it continued on from there. But as you look, it's just another one of those incidents. Truck got light. He wheel spinned. Nothing you can really do about that once it's gone.
And then the next one is Matt Sisler and John Houchins. They get together down at turn 6. Both of those trucks go around. They don't hit anything, but both Houchins and Sizzler going to need to go to the back. We are under a green flag condition. 19 trucks take the green flag. Paul Witt already a lap down. His day is basically done with the meatball. Logan Edwards leads Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, and Ryan O'Donohue, and those three have begun to establish a gap now on fourth place. Justin Osterman looking to the inside of Logan Edwards.
Yeah, he's going to send it up the inside. Already a little bit of contact between these two on the first lap. Logan's going to have to concede to Justin Osterman. Osterman able to get back the lead. And right now, Logan's fallen into the clutches of Ryan O'Donohue, but we know Logan is really good over the course of a longer stint. Whereas Justin Osterman, we know he likes to shoot out to the lead as early as possible. So this is going to be, with how short these stages are, these stages only 35 laps, it should be these two strategies converging probably towards the end of it, but we know Logan Edwards has the talent to get that lead back as soon as possible. Had a look there going into the final corner, but thought better of it.
Yeah, he had
right
a big...
now, he had a big, Osterman had a big off there coming off turn number 6.
Yeah, and look, Logan Edwards had a huge run. Edwards, known as known as one of the better road racers overall in the service, and so I think he's just going to take kind of the stalking horse position, but he's got trouble in the form of Ryan O'Donohue. A little bit further back, Matthew White started 15th. He's already moved himself into the ninth spot. He's going to go to work on Dylan Grutzmacher for the 8th position as they go through the S's up toward turn 5, Caleb.
Yeah, two of the new faces in the league, Dylan Grutzmacher, and at number 69, missing Matthew White, making his Truck Series debut. Looks up the inside, going to turn number 6, gets the position. Dylan goes a little bit wide, and now he's going to fall into clutches of Troy Carricker. Carricker's got a decent run going down the front straightaway, but might be a little bit too far back. But look ahead to Matthew White. He's looking up the inside of Sean Roberts. Oh, a little bit too deep there. A little bit too deep. Backs out of it. He's going to have to yield at the moment. And right now, Logan Edwards battling for the lead against Mr. Excitement.
Justin Osterman, Logan Edwards drew alongside in turn 1. They went side by side through turns 1 and 2. Edwards backs out of it. He'll reset and get that run one more time. The front three on top of one another, and they've drawn away 1.2 seconds, 1.3 seconds now over Kendall Paul. Kendall Paul has a couple of seconds between himself and Austin Hund, and if I'm Kendall Paul, I'm liking where I'm sitting right now. I don't have anybody around me. Nobody's beating my doors off. Nobody's stuffed up under my rear bumper. I can kind of just make some laps here. We know that there's been contact between Osterman and Logan Edwards at least once. Ryan O'Donohue has had some side-to-side contact early. Kendall Paul, well, he's just back there keeping everything clean. Matthew White just made it through Sean Roberts, so move Matthew White up to 6th. Next up on the hit parade is going to be Austin Hund. Matthew White right now is the fastest car, not in the top 4 by a long margin, and his fastest lap of the race is equal to Justin Osterman's. Logan Edwards owns the purple lap right now. He's about a 10th quicker than both of them. Dylan Grutzmacher, my goodness, he might be the next one that goes for a ride off that hill. He's been sideways 3 laps in a row, Caleb.
Yeah, you got to have very good throttle control in that uphill right. You can even see him breaking loose in that final corner there. His truck is not handling very, very well. So his rear end is really stepping out, and the more it steps out, the worse it's just going to get with the tire wear on these stock cars. And I do want to point out Logan Edwards to the lead, and Ryan O'Donohue is going to fall in for 2nd. Oh, but Osterman's not done.
Maybe not. Ryan O'Donohue trying to follow Logan Edwards too. Edwards made that move to the outside in turns 1 and 2, so he would have position when they got to turn number 3. O'Donohue cannot follow through. Edwards squirts away to a 1-second lead now over Osterman and O'Donohue, and they backed up to Kendall Paul. He cut that deficit in half. Meanwhile, we're going to have a battle here for the fifth spot between Austin Hund and Matthew White. But I want to keep it right here because Ryan O'Donoghue is going to make a move on Justin Osterman very shortly. Osterman moves to the right to protect the inside. O'Donoghue says, thank you very much. I'll just drive right around the outside of you. But Osterman holds that position, Caleb.
Yes, he does. He's putting on a very keen defense right now. So Osterman defending very, very cleanly but aggressive at the moment. Right now, they're losing. They both lost a ton of time to the old Narc Brain, and Logan's just kind of setting his sights forward and setting off in the distance. So, but you can see how light those trucks get over that hill.
Woo! Matthew White.
Back right. Matthew White looking up the inside of Austin Hund, gets the move done, going to turn number 6. And does Matthew White get Kendall Paul over the next handful of laps here, Murph?
So by outright pace, Matthew White is about 0.3 of a second a lap quicker. However, he's got some work to do. Ryan O'Donoghue draws another bead on Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman. Let's ride on board with Ryan O'Donoghue. We'll jump in the passenger seat. He is all over the back of that number 53 Chevrolet being driven by Mr. Excitement here tonight. Justin Osterman, he's doing everything possible that he can do to stay ahead of Ryan O'Donoghue, and the question is going to be how much longer, one, can he hold him, and how much longer is Ryan O'Donoghue going to be patient with Osterman?
Well, you don't want to be, you don't want to move him too early, just in case karma comes back to bite you. But I think O'Donoghue, he wants to get the move done, but he wants to get it done cleanly. So I think what O'Donoghue is going to try to do is let Osterman defend as much as possible, try to get him to wear his tires down just a little bit more than the others. I do want to point out they closed down half a second on Logan Edwards just that lap alone. So they are gaining quite a bit of time here. But O'Donoghue, he's just going to let Osterman try to defend as much as possible, try to wear his stuff as much as he can. That way he can just immediately pounce as easy as possible without, struggling on his own end. But right now, these two are significantly faster than Logan Edwards at the moment.
And I think Logan's up there thinking, man, I just need to save my stuff, just get to the stage break. We know Justin Osterman is driving that truck 10/10, and we also know that Ryan O'Donoghue has struggled at times with long run pace, and so O'Donoghue may be sitting back there thinking, I need to save my stuff as well. Matthew White has now caught Kendall Paul, and he's going to make the run up the inside, headed toward turn 1. Here's Matthew White. And Kendall Paul does not fight that. Kendall stayed to the outside, did not get back in the gas, and, well, he'll let Matthew White do what Matthew White's been doing. Started 14th, he's up to 4th. Ryan O'Donoghue continues to be all over the back of Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, and they've closed now to about half a second. That lead had ballooned to 1.2 seconds. But here's another thing. They've got lap traffic up ahead of them in the form of Jeremy Dunwoody. Ted Craven is not too much further up the road. Neither are Say Lewis Hayes and Jim Duda. And so lap traffic is going to become a thing here for these top runners within the next couple of laps, Caleb.
It will indeed. Ryan O'Donoghue seems to be pushing his truck a little bit harder. Seems like he's got a little bit of a handling issue. Went off track a couple of times there over the course of that last lap. But the lap traffic right now, Logan's got Jeremy Dunwoody right in front of him. And one thing that Lime Rock is always infamous for is how difficult it is to pass here. So when you just get a mixture of lap traffic and you want to get by him, well, it just makes everything a little bit harder. As we see Logan Edwards trying to make a move on Jeremy Dunwoody into the right-hand uphill, able to get the move done, but Osprey's going to follow him with no struggle at all. Right in front of him, Ted Craven hard into the wall. Yeah, Ted Craven on the inside. I think his day might be done.
I don't think he hit anything, Caleb. I think he was simply moving to.
He's got right front damage there. Yeah, he definitely hit the wall on the inside. Similar situation, Matt Sizzler, but not as hard.
let's see what happened to Ted Craven here. I thought he simply pulled over to move out of the way, but you're right. Truck got light coming over the brow of the hill after 5, and he does slam into the tire barrier down the back straight, and then wisely decides to keep the truck to the inside so that he doesn't interfere with the battle for the lead, which is now a three-way race one more time. Caleb, Osterman has now caught Edwards. You've got Osterman has now caught Edwards. Ryan O'Donoghue still lurking, and Matthew White is coming, brother. Matthew White now 0.2 quicker a lap over Logan Edwards that last time through. He's going to be at the back of this choo-choo train before too much longer.
He is indeed. He's running significantly faster, but you got to think, with how hard he's been fighting through the field, how are his tires going to look? We're not even halfway through the first stage here. We're only on lap 14. And these guys, it seems like Logan's completely backed it off and just trying to manage his stuff at the moment. Meanwhile, Osterman and O'Donoghue seem to be maybe full bore to try to get back in the lead. And Matthew White, well, we know how hard he's been pushing to slice his way through the field here. So we'll see how the tires last. Probably about lap 25, we'll start to see those gaps develop based on how well these guys have been able to manage their tires over the course of this first stage here. Do want to point out there is also a pretty good battle for the 6th place spot between Austin Hunt, Sean Roberts, and Troy Carricker. It did separate a little bit, but Sean Roberts was able to make a move on the inside going into turn 1 to get around Carricker. And right now it looks like Austin Hunt is trying to pull a gap over the other two behind him.
Yeah, and that's important for Austin Hunt. Very, very, very good oval racer. Not so much known for his prowess on the twisty stuff, but look, he's 5th in points, and so we were kind of talking about this last night, Caleb, after the Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series race in the AMA. It's not about the battle, it's about the war. And so if you can come in, if you're not really a great road racer and you can come get a top 5, a top 10 at a road course, that's a huge deal for you. Speaking of points, Kendall Paul does lead the points in the Truck Series. He's followed by Logan Edwards. Edwards is 8 points back. Ryan O'Donoghue is 33 markers behind. Matt Sisler 4th. Austin Hunt 5th. Sam Crow, who's not here tonight, is currently 6th, so he'll fall some. Paul Witt, David Dunwoody, Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, and Say Hey Lewis Hayes are the 10 trucks in the chase at this point. But there is a fight brewing for the top spot when it comes to the regular season championship, so we'll keep an eye on that. And head back to the battle for the lead. Matthew White is just about there. Logan Edwards has pulled away just a little bit. Now up 0.6 of a second over Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman. Ryan O'Donoghue continues to be all over the back of Osterman. We'll jump on board. Justin Osterman here. He does that
defensive line.
Yeah, he does that same thing. And there goes O'Donoghue. Big dive from Ryan O'Donoghue on the outside. And O'Donoghue knows, look, I've got to stay alongside until here, but he can't do it. And that brings Matthew White into immediate contact with Ryan O'Donoghue.
O'Donoghue getting really, really loose off of turn number 2. He is trying to get past Osterman. A big dive going to turn number 1. Gets a little bit loose. And right now, he's got to fend off from Matthew White, the new face in the AMA in that number 24 truck. Matthew White had a pretty good running in the 2 Grand National races. This is, of course, as we said before, his Truck Series debut. But seems like he's come up to grips and he's in the trucks pretty quickly, especially on a road course. So Matthew White, as we say, he might have a look on Ryan O'Donoghue going down the front stretch. He's looking up the inside. Might have a big send going into turn number 1. Thinks better of it.
Well, Ryan
O'Donoghue sent it deep.
Yeah, I was going to say Matthew White pulled out of that because he saw that Ryan O'Donoghue was going to try to outbrake Justin Osterman. It didn't happen for either one of them. They'll go single file through turns 3 and 4. Paul Witt jumps in the chat. Said he had a little bit of net code with a 24. Put him out of the race, and so it's tough luck for Paul Witt. And we will see him at the next round. Paul Witt, loyal as always, the AMA. Big loose for Osterman coming up the hill. It jumped out for Ryan O'Donoghue too, but Justin Osterman just about spun that truck out coming over the brow of the hill after turn 5. That allows Ryan O'Donoghue to close right up and contact.
Oh.
Contact between Matthew White and Ryan O'Donoghue. Light contact with the wall for O'Donoghue. No contact for White. They're going to get back onto the race course now in 6th and 7th. And that's just a misjudgment for Matthew White there. There you see Ryan O'Donoghue had the run on Osterman. White's going to try to send it into turn 7. And there's the contact.
It's a complete, just slight misjudgment. It looked like O'Donoghue may have gotten off a little bit early, just try to set up the run through that final corner, and Matthew White was not expecting it to be that massive of a lift. But it seemed like Matthew was trying to give that position back to O'Donoghue, but it seems like O'Donoghue's got a pretty not heavily damaged truck, but you do see a little bit of fender wear on that right rear. So Matthew White, that's going to set them way back.
Yeah, there's a huge dive from White on, say, Lewis Hayes in the Elite Performance Industries machine. And I wonder if the toe's not knocked out on Ryan O'Donoghue's truck. Let's jump on board and see what we can see from the cockpit of Ryan O'Donoghue. There he is as he gets around, say, Lewis Hayes. We're on board with O'Donoghue, and this is what you would see if you were looking through his eyes and in his helmet. The reason that I'm here is because I want to see if the wheel is straight when he goes down the front straightaway. He is fighting that truck going over the brow of that hill, Caleb.
Yeah, we're starting to see, even with the damaged truck, you're starting to see at this point all the tire wear that's happening on these trucks. The tires, well, they like to get hot and greasy over the course of a run, and with that damage, it's not going to make it easy for O'Donoghue. But right now, it seems like the truck is driving fairly straight, so it doesn't look like he has any suspension damage, but he's at least got a little bit of bodywork damage on that number 14 machine. But right now, he is dropping back just a little bit. Thankfully, he knows, and we all know, there's going to be a stage caution in about 15 laps time, so he will be able to get most of that repaired, especially with this being a road course, being the cautions being a little bit longer in terms of lap times. So yeah, he knows he can come in and get the majority of that repaired.
Yeah, I would expect a caution lap here to take a couple of minutes, and there's not going to be 2 minutes worth of damage on that truck. So he just needs to stay calm, understand the situation, understand he's still on for some stage points, but there's got to be some red mist behind the virtual visor of that number 14 machine. Meanwhile, Logan Edwards has kind of started to move away from Justin Osterman. 2.5 seconds. The battle royale is happening for third. Kendall Paul, Austin Hunt, Sean Roberts, and Matthew White has now joined that fight. But we're about to have a 4-way scrap for third. Austin Hunt has caught Kendall Paul.
Kendall Paul dropping a little bit further back. He has been able to maintain about that 4th to 3rd place position, obviously with O'Donoghue and Matthew White both having an incident. He's been able to maintain a top 5 position, but it seems like he is struggling with that rear end of the truck. You saw him get loose over the brow there of turn number 5, and Austin Hunt is all over the back of him. Sean Roberts looks like he also wants to follow through. And Matthew White, well, we already know how quick he is, so this could be very, very dicey with how close these trucks are together at this point in the run. Matthew White backs off a little bit. Austin Hunt get a little bit tight, but right now they're all trying to get – it seems like Kendall Paul is just maintaining pace right now.
You know, he is, and Kendall Paul, very good road racer. He sees Austin Hunt present to his inside. One of the things for Matthew White, you want to be careful. You're a newer driver in the series. You want to be careful. because you start running into guys that run the full schedule. You're not a part of a championship battle. Each one of these drivers here is. They can get kind of testy and start repaying favors. And Matthew White, I know Paul Witt. He's kind of got a dimmer view of what happened at the start of this thing. Ryan O'Donoghue will not be happy with that. You want to avoid having favors that need to be cashed in, Caleb.
Yeah, especially when, as you said, being a new face in the series. Obviously, it looked like an accidental from Matthew White's part, just a misjudgment.
Well, I'm not saying it's on purpose. I'm just saying.
No. But you don't want to you don't want to put yourself out there as possibly being even reckless, especially being a new face in the league.
Kendall Paul.
Now, Kendall Paul getting shoved to the side, right as we say it. Matthew White also goes by.
He does, and here comes Ryan O'Donoghue. Kendall Paul got out in the grass. And had a problem getting his truck going again after side-to-side contact with Sean Roberts, and that's going to open the door for Matthew White and Ryan O'Donoghue to get past. And Kendall Paul has still got problems. He's fallen into the clutches of Dylan Grutzmacher for the 7th spot. So keep an eye on Kendall Paul. You've got Jason Phillips running along in 9th. Troy Carricker, you see in the background in 10th as Matthew White makes the move to the inside of Sean Roberts. Ryan O'Donoghue seems to have gotten his bearings back. He's going to join that fight as well. And O'Donoghue, he needs to get up there. He needs to score the stage points, Caleb.
He does indeed. I did want to point out, right after that little bit of contact with Kendall Paul, him and O'Donoghue actually got into it. So if you actually look on the left front of Ryan O'Donoghue, he's got a little bit of fender damage. And that's because when Kendall Paul was trying to rejoin, O'Donoghue kind of tapped him a little bit. So right now, O'Donoghue adding a little bit more damage to an already damaged truck. Kendall Paul having a little bit of rear end damage, pretty much the same as what O'Donoghue has earlier, or had gotten earlier. But right now, it seems like it's not slowing down O'Donoghue at the moment. He's right on the rear end of Sean Roberts. He's going to send it up the inside, going into turn number 1. And it makes contact, and he's going to spin.
O'Donoghue around and hard into the Armco on the inside for Ryan O'Donoghue. And that is going to hurt that truck a lot worse than it was. We'll get in the helicopter to watch this one. He makes the dive. I think he was just too hot, Caleb. You see the wheel hopping starting before he ever got there, and there's the contact. Around goes Ryan O'Donoghue, and then you hit that grass and it just funnels you right into the inside wall. Boom. So there's O'Donoghue. He's already damaged, and now he's back to 9th. Matthew White has moved into the 4th spot, and with working lap 27 of 100, or 27 of a scheduled 35, you see Jason Phillips get past Dylan Grutzmacher there, move Phillips into the 7th spot. He'll attempt to give chase to Kendall Paul. Kendall Paul is now 6th. So all of that action, and Kendall Paul moves into 6th. Ryan O'Donoghue has fallen back to 10th now. So he needs to be careful. He won't score any stage points. He's got about 7/10 of a second in hand over Matt Sizzler, and we know Sizzler has been around as well in the early going.
Yes, we have. It seems like basically everybody in this race has had some sort of incident, whether it be a little bit of side-by-side contact or a half spin going over the brow of a corner or whatnot. It seems like everybody has already had an incident, and that just goes to show this track is not very easy in this car. Austin Hunt going very, very wide in turn number 2. That's going to allow Matthew White to catch up. But right now, the battle is right behind him with Jason Phillips and Kendall Paul trying to navigate traffic, and Jason Phillips is around in turn number 2.
Yeah, he's trying to avoid the lap car of Jeremy Dunwoody, and that's going to bring him into contact with Ryan O'Donoghue. And O'Donoghue needs that spot. You see him try to get around the pink the pink number 20 machine of Jason Phillips, and he needs to get going because Matt Sizzler is right there on O'Donohue. Sizzler now moves the outside, but O'Donohue has position going into turn 5. Phillips is going to be wide. Wheel spin for both machines as they come off the corner, but O'Donoghue's got the position through turn 6, and he will have that 9th spot. And now Phillips is going to have to worry with Matt Sizzler for 10th.
A very close battle. Sizzler started toward the rear of this thing. Well, he actually started. He started in the 15th position. He's up 4 places in 11th. But he looks like he's had pace, he just had a few incidents, just little half spins here and there. But right now, he's looking all over the back of Jason Phillips, who's, well, actually all 3 of these trucks that we see right now, O'Donohue, Phillips, and Sizzler have all had some sort of incident. O'Donohue has had a few contacts here and there. Jason Phillips has had 2 half spins. One of them was on lap number 2, going over this corner right here, going over the brow. And Matt Sizzler had a couple of half spins earlier on in the race, but you could see just still the truck is not very easy to drive around here. That rear end is not very happy when you go over the brows of these corners and likes to step out and catch you out every once in a while.
Yes, it does, and that's the thing about Lime Rock. It's, it was built almost at a different, almost in a different time, and it races like it. As a matter of fact, the track here is kind of odd. One of the first events here was a Formula Libre race, if you know what that is, Caleb. It's kind of a run what you brung type deal. The first Formula Libre race was won by Roger Ward in a USAC upright midget car against the sports cars because he was able to drift through these corners.
And that's just when you get a big, bulky 700 horsepower stock truck, it kind of becomes very easy to drift. Do want to point out Matthew White has gone around Austin Hunt for the 3rd place position. Sent it up the inside going into turn number 1. He sets his sights forward. Austin Hunt dropping a little bit further back. But, yeah, this track is not easy. In whatever machinery you do, it's very narrow. Whatever vehicle you drive, even in like a lightweight Formula car with downforce like an F4 or even an F3 car, it just wants to get very, very light to where the rear end wants to step out. So, even in an F4 car, it can catch you out going over that right-hander, that uphill right, and even the downhill portion. It's not very easy to not only drive, but not to race as well. You can't really get side-by-side that greatly without getting some contact in the majority of these corners like we've seen plenty of times here tonight already here, Murph. But it's a very old-style track. It's a very narrow track, a very short track. This is basically the short track equivalent if we're talking, mile short track.
It's a short track road course.
Yeah, it's a short track road course. Like, it races exactly like that.
It does. We're watching some short track road course racing right now between Kendall Paul and Dylan Grutzmeyer, who's having a fantastic run. Meanwhile, Matthew White and Austin Hunt still going after it. Austin Hunt was not ready to concede that 3rd place spot. He actually drew alongside Matthew White down the back straight, couldn't make the move stick in turn 6. But Austin Hunt not going away. He's sitting back there in that 40 Raceware machine trying to learn as much as he can from Matthew White, seeing where he can get faster. And as he does that, the old narc brain, well, he continues to set sail and sail away. Logan Edwards out to a 3-second advantage over Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman. Osterman's tires have started to give up a little bit. Matthew White has started to blink a little bit, and that is no doubt going to impact how Austin Hunt races with him. Meanwhile, Dylan Grutzmeyer, he's gotten around Kendall Paul, so moved Grutzmeyer to 6th, Kendall Paul to 7th. Ryan O'Donohue continues to hang on to the 9th spot, but he's got Matt Sizzler and Jason Phillips in close attendance, and There's not going to be a guy in this field that's going to be happier to see the stage end than Ryan O'Donoghue. Big wiggle from O'Donoghue.
Big wiggle. Matt Sizzler. He's almost sent it on the inside going through that final corner. He might have the run here going down the front straightaway as we get to 2 to go in the stage. Really deep on the brakes goes O'Donoghue. Gets a little bit loose. Goes a little bit wide at O'Donoghue off track. And now Sizzler and Jason Phillips are going to make a little bit of contact there going through turn number 2. But Sizzler's able to hold on there. O'Donoghue losing 2 spots there in just 1 corner. He really, as you said, Murph, he really would like to get this stage done and over with.
We know that car is ill handling. We know that it's damaged. Meanwhile, Austin Hund has gotten back around Matthew White. So move Hund to 3rd, White to 4th. Those two have been in a pretty good scrap for the bottom step of the stage podium. This guy has been unheaded since he took the lead at about lap 3. Logan Edwards, the old narc brain, he's going to come over the brow of the hill into turn 6, down through turn 7. And really, at that point, he just needs to wait for Jason Phillips to cross the line. The problem with that, Caleb, is that Jason Phillips is some 34 seconds adrift. They've lapped everybody up to Matt Wagner in 12th. So there's Logan Edwards. Here's the battle around that 10th place position. There's Jason Phillips, and Logan Edwards is gonna do something that we've seen happen before in the AMA. He's gonna actually have to go an extra lap in the stage.
Yeah, he will indeed, and we saw that at San Diego with how spread out that field was, and you just kind of will have to wait. We did find out that if 10th place is a lap down, it just goes to the 9th place car, so thankfully we don't have to worry about that, but Logan Edwards will have to do an extra lap here. Jason Phillips is going to come across the line now,
all right, man.
And that should solidify Logan Edwards as your Stage 1 winner.
It is the Track Racer 150, and Logan Edwards will take the checkered flag in Track Racer stage break number 1. If you go to trackracer.com and you use the promo code, enter the web address using the code at the end that I'm going to put in the chat, you get 5% off. You get 5% of your order going into the AMA end of year prize pool. That's trackracer.com. Put that question mark ref equal 123 situation in after it, and you do get 5% of your order into the AMA end of season prize fund. Logan Edwards, winner of Stage 1 in the Track Racer 150. Do also want to thank Archway Industrial Coatings for their support of the AMA. They are a St. Louis-based flooring company that have been getting the job done for years. Epoxy and urethane flooring solutions that withstand the test of time, all while meeting their customers' installation schedules and budgets. They're committed to doing the highest quality work at the lowest possible cost every time, whether you're looking for industrial, commercial, restaurant, retail, or flooring or concrete repair at home. You found the perfect partner to get the job done now. Get ready to floor it with Archway. Caution flags in the AMA, of course, brought to you by our friends at Admin Box. Race control at the touch of a button if you're a league owner. Admin, if you do a lot of hosted sessions, you need one of those. Admin Box with 2x's.com. Fish will get you fixed up. We'll get to see him at the Sim Gaming Expo in September. Caleb, you're going to see yourself. You might even get to see me drive. Won't that be fun?
It will indeed. One of the events I've been looking forward to. Well, ever since last year's ended. So,
really we'll have to
the expo.
I'm looking forward to it too. They released the competitors for the Open Wheel Series. You and I are both on that list. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to have to make sure that we limit the refreshment intake at least on Friday night for that one, Caleb. You see Logan Edwards, he beats everybody off of pit road. Justin Osterman is away. It's going to be interesting to see, to me, how long Ryan O'Donoghue sits on pit lane here. But if you go to simgamingexpo.com and you put in the promo code SGE15, you get a percentage off your ticket, and we're gonna have Caleb Brashear out there signing autographs for all of his loyal fans.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I was actually going to bring the box that the Nightlight came in that you saw on the stage, and I was
Yeah.
going to have everybody from the open wheel from last year go ahead and sign it. That was the one thing when I left there. That was like my biggest regret. Was like, oh, I could have had everybody sign that. That would have been cool. But I'm going to bring the box back next year
Why
and
don't you
have
bring the
or this year.
why don't you bring the Nightlight with you and we'll all sign that?
No, that's I think I'm good.
The prize, by the way, that Caleb won for winning the GSI Open Wheel Invitational was a very nice steering wheel, which we jokingly refer to as the Nightlight because he didn't have the base for it for a long time. Jim Duda is going to bring his machine onto pit lane. He is a lap down. David Dunwoody got the lucky dog, and so he's going to be back on the lead lap. Duda 1 lap in arrears. You see Matthew White escaping the pit lane. Significant repair on his machine, 1 minute 29 seconds. Ryan O'Donoghue, 1 minute and 2 seconds in the box. Those were the only two that really had significant repair, Caleb.
Well, Kendall Paul is the only one that does have a little bit of damage, but it seems like he did not take that. It looks like he's going to try to move forward with it, just a little bit of rear bumper. But pretty much everybody else has a pretty clean truck. A lot of drivers have had half spins, but they haven't hit the wall, which is the most important part. So a lot of these trucks, there's only a handful that are actually out of the race. Paul Witt and Andrew Gates not starting, but there's only a couple trucks, that have had some sort of, significant repair. Ryan O'Donoghue being one of them, and the other one obviously being Paul Witt in that lap 3 incident. So it's been, despite the half spins, nobody has really been out of the race here.
They haven't. They haven't really. Paul Witt, the only retiree. Everybody else able to. Affect repair, some lengthier than others. Matthew White's going to have to charge from the back one more time. You see John Houchins and White still filing around turn number 7 as we get back underway. Logan Edwards from the pole position. Justin Osterman shoots across the bows of Edwards. Edwards does not move, and Osterman immediately falls into the clutches of Austin Hund.
Yeah, Austin Hund's got a run on the outside, but Osterman clears him as they go into turn number 3. A little bit side-by-side action between Dylan Gutzmacher, the new face in the league, and Kendall Paul. Ryan O'Donoghue also going around the outside of Matt Sizzler, able to get by him. And right now, it's a little bit of a comeback story between a couple of these drivers, Kendall Paul, Ryan O'Donoghue, as well as Matthew White. He started at the back of this thing on the restart. But right now, side-by-side between O'Donoghue and Kendall Paul. And O'Donoghue able to get by. He is up quite a number of positions. And now Matt Sizzler and Kendall Paul are going to go side-by-side in the final corner.
Yes, they are. Kendall Paul, Matt Sizzler. You've got Jason Phillips into that mix. Right behind them, Matt Wagner lurks in the 11th spot. Carricker wide through turns 1 and 2. And up the inside comes Jason Phillips. He can't quite make it stick, though. Troy Carricker holds on to the 9th spot. Phillips 10th. Wagner 11th. John Houchins, big wiggle going through turn 3, and that will let through Matthew White. They're side by side. White will complete that maneuver, headed toward turn 5.
Yeah, Houchins getting a little bit squirrely on the exit. That allowed White to get the run going into that uphill right-hander. But White, we've seen him go on a charge already. He started in the 13th spot at the start of the race, and we saw he was battling for the 3rd place position by the end of it. So we know he has the pace to get back up there. He looks so he's on a bit of a comeback, as well as the guy that we're watching right now, Ryan O'Donoghue, going up the inside of Dylan Gutzmacher, able to get himself back inside the top 5. He's had significant repair on that number 14 machine. So O'Donoghue, well, we know he's quick. Let's see if he's able to continue forward and try to gain all the time they've already lost to Logan Edwards.
They are. Ryan O'Donoghue, 2.3 seconds now behind Sean Roberts. The battle is on for the second spot. There's Austin Hund. He's lost a little bit of time to Justin Osterman. Osterman just under a second behind Logan Edwards. There's Hund in third, Sean Roberts fourth. The top four have kind of spread out. Ryan O'Donoghue is starting to chase him down. He's gotten past Dylan Grutzmacher for the fifth spot. Matt Sizzler now looking on the back of Grutzmacher. To the outside, around to the inside into turn one, Troy Carricker is wide. That's going to let Kendall Paul and Jason Phillips go through. Grutzmacher loses the spot to Sizzler, so move Matt Sizzler to sixth. Matthew White is now at the back of this train as well, and he is looking on Troy Carricker for the 10th spot.
Yeah, Matthew White again on another comeback here through the field. Already slid himself into that 11th place spot, trying to look inside the top 10. He's got a decent run, gets a little bit into the grass right behind him. Oh, John Houchins had a little bit of a moment going over that barrel, as well as Jim Duda. The guys are still struggling to get over that right-hander in the uphill right. The truck's still getting very, very loose, as it always does. And a lot of these drivers are still trying to manage of how to navigate that just before halfway in the race here, Murph.
Yeah, they are. We're nearing that 50 lap marker. 44 on the board of 100. Do thank everybody for joining in, tuning in, hanging out with us on a Friday night. You've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 Broadcasting booth. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that we can get in on all of the iRacing fun. You also want to thank Whiplash SimCams for these amazing images. Speaking of drifting, my goodness gracious, Matthew White had his truck 45 degrees sideways off the brow of that hill after turn 5. He is working that thing. He is still, though, been unable to get past Troy Carricker, and Matthew White is headed for the pit lane. Black flag and a disconnect for Matthew White. So he is electing to retire his truck, and that means that he's going to be out of this when Ryan O'Donoghue is now catching Sean Roberts, and he's catching him quickly, about half a second a lap, Caleb.
Yes, he is indeed. He's gaining a lot of that time here, just being very consistent. We know O'Donoghue has got the pace here. He started on the pole position and with a 52.5, but right now he's back in that fifth place position. We know he's got the pace. I think it's just a matter of time of, it's not how, it's when O'Donoghue gets to the rear end of Sean Roberts. I'm reckoning within the next 2 laps, based on how the lap times are, a 53.6 from O'Donoghue last time around. Sean Roberts a 54 flat. So they are. It's just a matter of when and how fast he can get around Sean Roberts here, as well as Austin Hund, and then if he's able to gain on the front two of Justin Osterman and Logan Edwards after he gets around them.
Yeah, he is. And look, O'Donoghue, lots of issues in that first stage. He spent, he had, by my count, 4 off-course excursions, multiple instances of contact. I would assume that with 1 minute and 2 in the pit lane, that he's gotten the damage on that number 14 fixed. The problem is he gave up a lot of track position to do it, and he's going to have to work his way back forward. The other issue for O'Donoghue is that one of the guys that he is immediately fighting in the points is two positions ahead of him. O'Donoghue wants to get back up toward the front. Logan Edwards is also fighting, is also a part of this championship battle. He's second. O'Donoghue is third. Hund is fifth. O'Donoghue needs to get back up there so he can score more. So he can score more stage points, Caleb.
Yes, he does indeed. Do want to point out there is a pretty good battle from Dylan Grutzmacher all the way back to Troy Carricker. Those guys that are going at it. And another championship provisional, Kendall Paul, our championship leader. But Jason Phillips spins it just before the crest of that hill there.
There's Jason Phillips, and we're going to get back and see exactly what's happened to him. I suspect very similar to some of the previous accidents that we've seen. Well, he got over the brow of the hill down into turn 6.
He didn't
Two
touch the curb.
No, it just looked like he gassed it up too early. Caleb spun up the rear tires and around she went. Don't see anything. Don't see him hit anything in that pink number 20 machine, but it does go around and get in the grass, and he does lose significant track position and time. Back to do battle with John Houchins for the 10th spot. Meanwhile, that battle that you were speaking about, it kind of still rages. Kendall Paul in 7th, Carricker 8th. Ryan O'Donohue is in 9th.
He had a massive incident on the front straightaway. Going on to the front straightaway, hit the outside wall.
Yeah, so let's go back and see what we can find out for Ryan O'Donohue here. Here we go. So he had run down Sean Roberts, drops a wheel, and that'll do it, Caleb. He dropped a wheel off, and it shot him across from left to right. Got the right sides off, and he hit that thing a ton. I'm almost surprised he doesn't have a meatball.
Well, a day goes from bad to slightly better to worse. Just like that, it looked like O'Donohue was eyeing up a good stage finish here. He still can get a good stage finish. He's only fell back to 9th, but he's going to have to get more repair on that number 14 machine. He's looking on the back end of Troy Carricker and Kendall Paul. So he could still get some good stage points, but we know he could be getting a lot more with how quick he is. Has a look up the inside of Troy Carricker, holds that tight line, thinks better of it. But it's a day that's been kind of very up and down, and right now he's trying to do another comeback here, Murph, to try to get back up inside the top 5.
He is right on board Ryan O'Donohue again, just trying to gauge what the wheel looks like in that car. Or in that truck. It appears again, Caleb, to be more or less straight. He hit it square, so we don't see him crabbing the truck or anything. We of course can't see the gauges, or those are fixed into a different position, so you can't glean intelligence from looking in there. But he might not have hurt that thing too bad.
No, and see it even at the towards the end of that first stage, he still had pretty good pace, despite that thing being pretty battered on all 4 corners of the truck. So even with a little bit of damage here, it seems like he's still maintaining a very good pace here to hang on to the back of Troy Carricker and even fight for position for not only Troy Carricker but Kendall Paul for that 7th place position. They are having to deal with lap traffic. David Dunwee's right there. This is going to affect the battle a little bit. Kendall Paul, well, David Dunwee gets out of the way right at the apex and allows all 3 of them to go by. No harm, no foul, but that's going to tighten the pack up just a little bit more. Does Troy Carricker have a move going into turn number 1, going down the front straightaway? He looks to the inside here, Murph.
Yeah, Troy Carricker going to try to outbrake Kendall Paul going into turn number 1. You see the back of the 94 wiggle. Troy Carricker sticks it to the inside, and Ryan O'Donohue is going to try to follow suit. Kendall Paul will give up that position, so move Carricker to 7th, O'Donohue to 8th, Kendall Paul back to 9th, and that was kind of set up by David Dunwoody. It's also important to note, Dunwoody 2 laps down now. It's important to note that Jeremy Dunwoody is on pit lane with the meatball, and he's been there for over 7 minutes. So the night likely done for Jeremy Dunwoody. Ted Craven is back on pit road as well. He's classified in 18th, 16 laps in arrears. So really 15 trucks continue to circulate as we watch the battle between Troy Carricker and Ryan O'Donohue for 7th. This is really the only battle effectively on the course, Caleb.
It is indeed. Troy Carricker, he's got a mirror full of Ryan O'Donohue. Kendall Paul has dropped off just a little bit, like you said, but Ryan O'Donohue getting a little bit loose through turn number 2, but It's going to be ebb and flow. O'Donoghue, we know he has pace, like we said over the course of this race,
Black
just
flag,
over halfway.
Black flag, Matt Wagner. Matt Wagner came to the pit lane too fast on entry, and so Wags has found misfortune in that Crown Royal machine, and I wonder what in the world has happened to him, if that was intentional coming down the pit lane, or if it was, kind of a deal where he spun the Track Rocket F-150 in there, or the Track Rocket Toyota in there. Let's see.
Oh,
No, he
looking
pulled.
at it looks like just an intentional pit there. A standard pit stop, but we know we could go to the end of the stage on a fuel tank, so gonna have to look into that one here, Murph.
We will. Back to the battle between Carricker and O'Donoghue. Troy Carricker has pulled out just a little bit, and they have started to gain on Dylan Grutzmacher. They were half a second quicker the last time through was Carricker on Grutzmacher. So Troy Carricker closing down on 6. Ryan O'Donoghue firmly ensconced now in the 8 spot. Remember, we're going to have another stage caution at lap number 70. And so just 15 laps to go until we get there. Want to thank everybody for tuning in, joining in the fun. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell so that you can be informed of all of the iRacing action. I just got a message back from George Anzaldo, who's the head of the Sim Gaming Expo. The promo code that I mentioned earlier, folks, if you want to head to Chicago and hang out with us and see some really cool stuff, the promo code at simgamingexpo.com is SGE. That's Sierra Golf Echo 15, numbers 15, SGE 15, and that promo code is good until midnight tonight. And so, if you want to get a ticket, you want to get some money knocked off of that ticket, by all means, simgamingexpo.com. It ends at midnight tonight. So I was good. I remembered, right, Caleb?
You were indeed. Now, don't actually type in Sierra Golf Echo. To just type in SGE. And, of course, Murph is the one person that would probably know the entirety of that alphabet by heart.
I do. Well, so in life, and I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it freely as long as people don't ask me questions. I'm an insurance adjuster for automobiles, and so that's how we read out VIN numbers is using the military phonetic. I can also recite the alphabet in Greek, but that's more of a college thing there, Caleb.
Murph's college days you hear about every once in a while, but back to the action at hand. Ryan
O'Donoghue's all over him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's all over him. He's closed that gap back up. It was about 4 to 5 truck lengths behind. But right now, he is all over the back of Troy Carricker. They both caught up to Dylan Grutzbacher in that number 69 machine. This is about to be a three-way fight for just outside the top 5 here.
Yeah, most certainly is. And look, we talked about the stage point situation. Troy Carricker and Ryan O'Donoghue both much quicker than Matt Sizzler. Now, Sizzler's another 3 seconds up the road from them. Don't know if they'll be able to catch Sizzler because, well, once you get to Dylan Grutzmacher, it's not just a matter of getting to him. You got to pass him. You can see the 3 birdies machine there ahead. But Carricker and O'Donoghue both much faster than Dylan Grutzmacher, and they need to get by him and see if they can't set sail on Matt Sizzler for both of them to try to crack that top 5. They've got the pace to do it. It's just a matter of time. And Ryan O'Donoghue, my goodness, all over the back of Troy Carricker here.
Yeah, these two are actually the fastest trucks on track right now with that 54.6. They are faster than even Logan Edwards and Justin Osterman, number 1 and 2. They are faster than the rest of the field here. Now, they are 16 seconds back from the old North Brain. However, they could get, if they maintain a good pace here with these lap times, they might be able to battle for the top 5 position, maybe even a 4th place position up in Shaw and Roberts by the time the stage ends if they keep the pace up. This time around, this time it was a 55-1 for Troy Carricker. About matches Dylan Grutzmacher as well as Matt Sizzler and Sean Roberts and Austin Hunt. So really, they need to maintain that 54-second pace if they want to try to get a battle for the top 5 at the moment. But right now, Dylan Grutzmacher kind of playing defender at the moment. He's still about 3 to 4 truck lengths ahead of Carricker at the moment. But he gets a little bit loose over the brow of that hill, does Grutzmacher. But right now, it's a 3-car battle for 6th place, and Troy Carricker and Ryan O'Donnell would love to get past Grutzmacher and try to aim for Sizzler before the stage is all said and done.
They are. They have closed the gap. It's half a second now between Grutzmacher and Carricker. It's a half a second between Carricker and O'Donoghue, roughly, as they yo-yo back and forth. This is the best battle on the track. Justin Osterman has reeled Logan Edwards back in. He's about half a second behind. If that gets any closer, we'll show the battle for the lead as it develops. But this is by far the best race on the track. It is 6th, 7th, and 8th. Grutzmacher, Carricker, and O'Donoghue. Grutzmacher got a little bit of wheel spin at the top of the S's there. And that's going to – Troy Carricker went to the outside to try to make something happen. That let Ryan O'Donoghue get to the inside, but O'Donoghue, big wiggle over the brow of the hill. He keeps the position into turn 6, and O'Donoghue is going to go into the 7th spot ahead of Troy Carricker. Carricker, though, going to try to fight back down the hill, not quite close enough.
Yeah, side by side through that downhill is not.
Whoa, we got a battle for the lead. We got a battle for the lead. Yep. Osterman and Edwards. Now, Logan's going to have the preferred line off of turn number 4 as they head toward turn 5. He's got Osterman to his outside, so Edwards is going to have the advantage. We know, though, there's no lift in Justin Osterman.
We know that indeed. I was looking at this gap. It was about 2 seconds, and I looked back to see what happened. Logan got held up by lap traffic, actually, a couple laps ago. So that's why Osterman was able to gain so much time that quickly. And right now, Osterman all over the rear end of Logan Edwards with less than 9 laps to go here. And right now, Logan's going to come up to another lap car of Say Hey Lewis Hayes to try to get around him as quickly as possible, much faster than he did before. Let's see how he plays the lap traffic here.
Yeah, let's see. That is Say Hey Lewis Hayes in the 43. He's got Elite Performance Industries on the side of that machine. It might have held up Edwards a little bit, but it also held up Osterman. No harm, no foul there. And that's not anything on Say Hey Lewis Hayes. He's trying to get out of the way. There's just nowhere to go. And we were talking about this track and its history and sports cars and all that. Can you imagine a multi-class sports car race here? Holy smokes.
I don't even imagine when they get the larger fields here. This track is only 1.5 miles long. Osterman looking up the inside of Logan Edwards for the lead here. Sends it in deep on the brakes. Logan on the outside. He's got the momentum, but so does Osterman on that inside lane. Still side by side, go through turns 1 and 2. Logan's got the inside line going into 3, and he's able to clear Osterman before they get to the apex.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right, is Logan Edwards, good enough road racer to know that the inside line there through turn number 1 is kind of, it's kind of fool's gold, right? You get the position through turns 1 and 2, but if you do not complete the pass, you're on the wrong side of the road for 3 and 4. And so as long as Edwards can hang on the outside, he's got the preferred line for the quicker corners upcoming, and he's able to make that move. He's able to make the move to retain the lead, and now he's drawn back out about half of a second over Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman. Osterman too far back for the big dive this time. They've got Matt Wagner up ahead of him, who is 1 lap down, and Wags would be keen to stay ahead of these guys for another 7 laps because he doesn't want to go 2 down. If he goes 2 down, he can't fight for position at the end. He would be the lucky dog. but he would still be 1 lap down when the race restarted after the stage caution. So he wants to stay right where he is.
Yes, he does indeed.
It is. It's worth noting, Caleb, Ryan O'Donoghue and Troy Carricker made it past Dylan Grutzmacher, and O'Donoghue has made it past Carricker. So O'Donoghue is now 6th. They are gaining on Matt Sizzler, but they're almost 4 seconds behind Sizzler. So just kind of keep that in mind. They are picking up time. I don't think they're going to have enough time to get to Matt Sizzler, but it's been a valiant effort from Ryan O'Donoghue after yet another spin and off track, and he clouded the Armco on the front straightaway. So we'll continue to monitor that progress and what I'm sure will be another lengthy repair for Ryan O'Donoghue at the stage break as we watch Osterman and Edwards continue their fight for the lead, and they continue to close on Matt Wagner with 5 laps to go in the stage this time.
Yeah, 2 IndyCar guys. One of them kind of known for road courses. The other one's kind of known for ovals. Matt Wagner currently riding around in the 12th place position, just kind of maintaining a good steady pace. But Logan Edwards, we know how quick he is on the road courses here in the Truck Series. Just in general, on the AMA, he has 8 road course starts, 5 of them being wins, all of them being in the top 5 finishes. So we know Logan, we like to compare it to SVG, but I'd say he's like a Ricky Rudd because, well, SVG still has to learn the oval side. Logan knows ovals as well, so I'd say he's a lot closer to a Ricky Rudd with the SVG road course win rate, if you want to add on top of that. So we know Logan, he's known as a road course ace, but he can light him up on the ovals as well. And right now he's coming up to Matt Wagner, who is an IndyCar guy known on the ovals, but Wag's going to get out of the way of our leaders here and allow the top 2 to go on by. Well, maybe just Logan here before they get to turn number 1.
Yeah, Logan Edwards is going to go through, and Matt Wagner will slot right in behind Logan Edwards. Not much love lost between Justin Osterman and Matt Wagner. I know that those two have had their incidents, accidents, and trials and tribulations, and those things do get paid off. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes, Caleb, it's not the way that you think. You don't have to spin a guy out, right? Right now, Matt Wagner, he's perfectly content to repay one of those favors just by holding up Justin Osterman and making sure he can't win the stage.
Well, a little bit of bias there. He's not going to get out of the way
of
Justin Osterman, but he breaks a little bit early, but he's making Osterman work for it.
Yeah, he is. There's contact going.
Oh, there's contact!
Yeah, there's contact. Justin Osterman leaned on Matt Wagner. Wagner did not give the room, and Justin Osterman goes around out of the second spot. That's going to let Austin Hunt, Sean Roberts through. Here comes Matt Sizzler, and we'll go back and replay that again because that's look, I get it from Wagner's standpoint. I get it from Osterman's standpoint. If you're the second place car there, though, you got to show some patience, right? Here we go. Late braking from Osterman. He slides out. He's going to get to Wagner's door. There's contact there. And to be fair to Wags, he can't go anywhere. He goes any further left, he's going to be off in the grass. So
that is a situation, Murph.
It is a situation, as you say, a situation indeed. So Wagner goes to 2 laps down. He is the lead car 2 laps down. Osterman, drops back into the 4th spot, behind Sean Roberts. Dylan Grutzmacher is now all over Kendall Paul, and that's big because Kendall Paul is fighting just to get stage points. Grutzmacher, though, wheel hops into turn 1, and he's around.
Well, it looks like he actually sent it way too deep. going into turn number 1. It looked like initially he may have locked the rears there, but no, he just way too hard on the brakes there, way too deep, and rear end just steps out. And well, he had a very good run here in stage number 2, just outside of the top 5 there. But right now, well, thankfully he's at the end of the stage, so he will gain all that time back right when the stage ends. So he's still inside the top 10, which is good. And hopefully when this stage gets restarted, he can regain all that time and possibly move forward again.
Yeah, John Houchins, the last car on the lead lap, he is about 10 seconds away from falling victim to Logan Edwards. The good news for Houchins is that this is we're getting on to the final lap of the stage. Osterman is in that 4th spot. He's not going to make it back up in the 3rd unless there is some sort of a mistake from Sean Roberts in front of him. And Logan Edwards, well, with that contact between Osterman and Wagner, he is all by his lonesome in that number 9 machine. Dylan Grutzmacher will need to come through the start-finish line. There's Grutzmacher, and when he does, we will get the 2nd stage caution, Caleb.
It's going to be a little while. We got Grutzmacher going through the turn number 6 right now. Typical road courses, you always have to wait a little bit. Grutzmacher getting a little bit wide there, and come across the start-finish line. He is in the 10th place position, and the stage caution is going to come out. Logan Edwards is going to win stage number 2 here.
Yes, he is. There's Logan Edwards. He is already back to turn number 7. And so there's that extra lap we were kind of talking about. Do want to congratulate Logan Edwards for his win in Blackmagic Studios stage number 2. Blackmagic Studios are a small operation dedicated to high-quality iRacing paints and wraps for any car. You can visit them on Discord or Facebook for your next high-quality iRacing paint. A little bit of... Don't know what that was about. Ted Craven off in turn 1. But when you see me race on P1, I'm doing so behind the wheel of a Blackmagic Studios designed machine. Logan Edwards, it doesn't matter what he paints on his car. He has been the dominant truck here. He leads every lap in stage 2. He wins stage 1. He's under the admin box caution flag now, and he is what I would assume going to do is going to stop here, bolt on 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles, fill her up with gas, and get ready to go to the end, Caleb. Although he may not need the entire complement of fuel, and you can talk more about that better than I.
Yes, I mean, the 3rd stage is actually shorter than our first 2, which is a complete inverse of what we typically see in any sort of, NASCAR or even here in the AMA. It's always usually the longest stage, but here it's actually going to be, well, probably when we get to go green, about 8 laps shorter than what it was in stage number 1 and stage number 2. So this will be slightly more of a sprint to the end here, and you can take less fuel. That's at least the method here. Logan Edwards sideways in his box. He's a little bit crooked, but maybe taking a little bit less fuel on the road courses. I know on the oval side you'd want to take as much fuel as possible just for ballast purposes, but on the road course side in these trucks, you want to be as light as possible. That way you can navigate. Logan Edwards, very close with Austin Hunn, but I think.
I was going to say that was a photo finish at the line. Interestingly enough, Ryan O'Donoghue did not repair damage on his machine, and Logan Edwards has won the race off of pit road, and so there he is. Hund is 2nd, Sean Roberts, Matt Sisler, Ryan O'Donoghue, Justin Osterman came off a pit lane in the 6th spot. So Osterman managed to lose another couple of positions on the pit stop exchange. It's then Troy Character, Jason Phillips, Dylan Grutzmacher, and Kendall Paul round out your top 10. The final car on the lead lap, John Houchins in 11th. Matt Wagner will be 2 laps down. Jim Duda 2 down. Sehe Lewis Hayes 3 down. David Dunwoody, Matthew White, Ted Craven, Jeremy Dunwoody, and Paul Witt are all out of this one as we work the final stage caution here at Lime Rock. Do want to thank everybody for tuning in, joining in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you can get in on all of the iRacing fun. And Logan Edwards is dropping back in the order here, Caleb.
He did come over the radio here. Let me see if I can hear anything. He did come over the radio and said something. And yeah, Logan Edwards is dropping to the back. Don't know exactly why, though.
Well, you know, it's possible, Caleb, that you know, he could be experiencing some sort of an equipment failure in that machine. He has dropped to the rear of the line. He's going to go back to 10th. That means that Austin Hund and Sean Roberts now lead the field. I wonder if he had something like a pedal malfunction maybe, or something go wrong with that. Go wrong with his rig, and he just decided, look, I need to go to the back just for the safety of everybody else.
No, it was a black flag. He got waved around to the back of the field, according to him.
Huh. I didn't see any pit road speeding penalty, but it is possible. Unsafe exit, maybe. I mean, I don't know. We didn't see a penalty on the timing and scoring, and so that's very interesting. Meanwhile, Austin Hund and Sean Roberts, they're going to lead this thing back to the green flag. The pace truck comes off. Hund and Roberts lead it, and let's
green flag.
Look at it from the perspective of a fan in the stands. Osterman's going to tried to make it 3 wide, going down the front straight, and into turn 1 they go.
Sizzler. Ooh, Sizzler on the curb. We got another truck off. That's Sean Roberts. He's going to rejoin Logan Edwards. A little bit sliding in the background. I believe that was Kendale Paul. No, that was John Houchins, excuse me. A little bit sideways, but a little bit of jostling early on in the running here. And Logan Edwards, who started back in the 10th place spot, already up multiple positions, is now looking on the back of Troy Carricker. He is seeing the red mist right now.
Yeah, Logan Edwards in that number 9
Sends
machine.
up the inside. What a move! Deep send there.
You're not supposed to be able to do that at that spot. Logan Edwards has moved from 10th to 5th in 1 lap as he set sail on Matt Sizzler. Meanwhile, Ryan O'Donoghue, who has hit everything but the lotto here today at Lime Rock, he's now second to Austin Hund, and he's got Justin Osterman, Mr. Excitement, right behind him in third. Then Sizzler and Edwards, who is led by far the most laps, is currently 5th, and O'Donoghue all over the back of Austin Hund.
Very, very tight, but Austin gets a little bit loose. They're going to go side by side down the Sam Posey straight. O'Donoghue goes wide, though. Looks up the inside, yields, though. Osterman is now all over. Right, O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue
Osterman turns him. Ryan O'Donoghue has to be pounding his steering wheel right now. They come we'll get it from the chopper. O'Donoghue's they come over the brow, and there's the contact. I don't know, Caleb. That's for officialdom to decide, my friend. But Ryan O'Donoghue has got to be disappointed, and Logan Edwards now moves into the 3rd spot behind Justin Osterman and Austin Hund. They've got Jim Duda, who just served a black flag, out ahead of the leaders.
Yeah, Logan Edwards on the charge, already back into basically the podium places here. Kind of seeing the red mist here. It is a slightly short stage, so he can push a little bit harder than everybody else, and we know he has the pace to be to get back into the lead. And right now, he's going to be battle the guy who's really given him the best battle on track, Justin Osterman, Mr. Excitement, Osprey gets a little bit loose on entry. Logan Edwards sends it in deep, though, but not able to get close enough to get a fender on him.
Yeah, they are. And look, Edwards has made his way into that third spot. The front three right together. Osterman goes wide at turn 5. Logan Edwards is going to make it through, and now Edwards has moved into the second spot. He'll give chase to Austin Hund here as we wind down the laps. 78 complete, 79 on the board here at Lime Rock Park. I do want to thank everybody for joining in, tuning in on the broadcast. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you too can enjoy all of the iRacing action. We are getting down to the nitty-gritty here at Lime Rock in the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. Right now, Austin Hund is your leader. A penalized Logan Edwards, no doubt driving a bit frustrated after he had to go to the back. After he had to go to the back on that last restart, he's made it from 10th back to 2nd, and Edwards trying to run down Austin Hund, but Hund showing some pretty good pace here, Caleb.
Yes, he is indeed. Austin Hund, another driver that is fighting for this championship inside the top 5 in points, just behind Matt Sizzler. And Austin Hund is still looking for his first win this season. He's the only driver inside the top 5 that has yet to win. So he's looking to get his first win and finally just get that off his shoulders here. Logan Edwards got his first win of the season last time around, and, well, it was another road course. We know Logan is a road course ace in these trucks, in the AMA Truck Series. But right now he's got a guy that wants to get his first win of the season in his way.
Yes, he does. And, of course, Austin Hund, a part of that 40 Racewear team you see all the time on the P1 Broadcasting Channel. Hund, teamed with guys like Chris Stouffer and Craig Forsyth. Very commonly seen. Jim Herrick, of course, runs that operation. Great group of gentlemen is that 40 Racewear team. And, well, they've got one of their own out here leading. Stouffer not here tonight, but Austin Hund carrying that 40 Racewear banner. He's got Team I5G from Logan Edwards and Black Magic Studios in the form of Justin Osterman behind him. And he's got to stay out there for another 20 circuits.
Yes, he does. Do want to point out this battle between Matt Sizzler, Troy Carricker, Jason Phillips is getting very, very tight. Also, Sean Roberts has introduced himself into the picture.
Well, and Roberts was up front and kind of got forced off into the Tulies there on that stage restart. We know that he's got a much better truck than 7th spot. He'd like to get back up there, I think, and do battle with the likes of Osterman and Edwards, because he's been there for most of the evening.
Yeah, last time around, he was a couple tenths quicker than both Troy Carricker and Matt Sizzler. The fastest one in the group was actually Jason Phillips. He was about 4 tenths quicker than both Troy Carricker and Matt Sizzler. So this battle getting very, very close together. Matt Sizzler leads it, Troy Carricker following, and then you got the 2 fastest guys at the rear of it. This is going to get very, very dicey. We'll see what moves Jason Phillips is going to make here. He's got a run going to turn number 6, but I think it's a little bit too far back to try a Logan Edwards move on lap number 1 of the stage number 3. So
yeah, it was, and we're about to have battle for the lead. Logan Edwards within 2 tenths of a second. We can see the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th train behind him, but Logan Edwards is right there on Austin Hund. And look, I don't mean to be a cheerleader, but it's likely just a matter of time. Hund goes wide in turn 3. Edwards placing that truck very smoothly throughout the course. You don't see the wiggles out of that number 9 that you see from the other trucks, and that's what makes him so strong on these long runs. He doesn't wear out the tires. He's right there into turn 5.
Yes, he is indeed. He's got a little bit of a wiggle going over the crest of that hill. He is pushing that number 9 i5G machine to its limit, but Austin Hunt gets a little bit wide on the exit at turn number 6. Does Logan Edwards have the momentum to make a move going into turn number 1, going down the front stretch?
Right on board with Logan Edwards. Here he is, right behind in the back, in the tire tracks of Austin Hunt. He will not make the lunge into turn 1. This time he holds a little bit tighter of a line. He's a little bit quicker through the center of the corner. He's going to get a little bit better of an exit, but there's nowhere for it to go.
Yes, there is. Off in the background, right behind these guys, Troy Carricker went really, really wide, yields the position. And Matt Sisler also dropping a few places there. Wonder what happened to them. It looks like just both of them sent it too hard.
Yeah, they both.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, they outbroke each other going into turn 1. Carricker into the grass first. Sisler got his truck woed up a little bit quicker, but it results in Roberts and Jason Phillips sneaking through. So move Roberts to 4th, Phillips to 5th. Sisler and Carricker back to 6th and 7th. Kendall Paul remains in the 8th spot, followed by Grutzmacher and Houchins. Ryan O'Donoghue trying to work his way back into that top 10. He is 0.4 of a second quicker than the leader. And you don't think there's some red mist, if there wasn't some red mist earlier behind that number 14, there is now. His problem is he's 16 seconds adrift of Logan Edwards.
Yeah, he is definitely seeing the red mist. Obviously, he's been in an incident-fueled race today. Basically has had damage in all 3 stages and gotten it repaired in the first 2, and now he's carrying even more damage in stage number 3 on the first lap of stage number 3, and due to no fault of his own really. And well, he's seeing the red mist and he's just trying to salvage as much as he can here. He's got only just over 15 laps to go here, and he's just trying to salvage any points he can at this point.
Yes, he is. Back to the battle for the lead. Logan Edwards dropped back a little bit from Austin Hunt, and, well, Justin Osterman has reintroduced himself to this fight. So Justin Osterman now 3rd, Edwards 2nd, Hund is your leader, and we have a 3-way scrap for the top spot. It's worth noting that Roberts, Phillips, Sisler are all more or less right together. O'Donoghue's got some work to do. He's nearly 8 seconds behind Dylan Grutzmacher, and so for O'Donoghue, he just needs to keep laying the laps in because he is much faster than Grutzmacher, but he's going to run. He's running out of laps.
Yes, he is, and O'Donoghue we know has been quick the entire time, but as well.
Here comes Logan.
Got Logan to the inside, sends it up the inside. Gets the move done before they even get to turn number 2. Logan Edwards back into the lead here at Lime Rock.
He is. That makes Austin Hund your 2nd place man. Justin Osterman is now 3rd as they race through turn number 4, down through turn 3 through the S's at 4, headed toward turn number 5. We are at the point where it's time to start counting down. 14 to go. It'll be 13 this time. Logan Edwards back in the lead after a penalty dropped him to the end of the longest line to start this final stage. It took him, by my count, 13 laps, Caleb.
13 laps and a little bit of red mist in his vision. He went from 10th to 5th in a mile and a half, and not on an oval, on a road course. So he was seeing basically 10th to 5th. Yeah, he's seeing a little bit of red mist, but do want to also point out the battle between the cars right behind the top 3 right now between Sean Roberts, Jason Phillips, Matt Sisler, and Troy Carricker. Troy Carricker has actually gained back up all that time he's lost by going off track. About 4 or 5 truck lengths behind Matt Sisler, but Matt Sisler is all over Jason Phillips' rear bumper. Phillips gets a little bit wide, a little bit of a touch from Sisler as they go into that right-hander. This is getting a little bit dicey. Sisler gets a little bit loose coming over the crest. And Sisler gets loose again, coming through turn number 6. He's going to look up the inside, go into the final quarter, gets the move done. Jason Phillips drops in position, and now he has to fend off from Troy Carricker.
Yes, he does. Troy Carricker is going to look up the inside going down into turn number 1. Carricker wants that 6th spot from Jason Phillips. Can't quite make the move, but Phillips, you mentioned Sizzler being all over his back bumper. His back bumper was all over the racetrack without Sizzler's assistance. That truck was hunting grip going down the back straightaway, and Matt Sizzler used that to his advantage, so moves Sizzler to 5th. He'll now lead the charge toward Sean Roberts in 4th. Meanwhile, Logan Edwards is drawn away. He'll get past Jim Duda. Austin Hund and Justin Osterman are now locked in a fight for second.
Yeah, it's getting very, very dicey. Jim Duda gets out of the way of the top 3 there, but Justin Osterman lost a little bit of time, just a little bit inconvenient trying to get around Jim Duda, but he's still going to look up the inside. Unfortunately, not able to make the move work, not even able to get a fender alongside. But Osterman, who has been in the second place position for the majority of this day, trying to get that second place spot back. He's got the inside fender on Austin Hunt. Austin defends the right-hander going onto the Sam Posey straight. Osterman tried to perform the cutback. They get a little bit dicey going on to the straightaway, but Osterman's going to have to yield as they go to the uphill right.
Yes, he is. And if you're Austin Hund, you know that Osterman's quicker. You know that you're going to have to essentially drive now 10 mistake-free laps to hang into that second spot. You also know that you're in a championship fight as Osterman gets big loose coming off of turn number 7. How much do you fight Osterman here, knowing how aggressive he is? As Osterman big lunge into turn 1, he outbrakes himself and he's off in the grass.
And he loses a ton of time, and right behind him, well, Jim Duda goes a little bit wide. He's multiple laps down, but he's going to be all the way back to Sean Roberts in that 4th place position, and that's going to introduce a 5-car battle for the podium places. But Osterman, I think, is the fastest car of the bunch. Well, last time around, Sean Roberts was 4/10 quicker than Justin Osterman, so and actually, Matt Sizzler was even faster than him, as well as Troy Carricker and Jason Phillips. So the 4 cars behind Osterman are actually faster at the moment. We'll see if this battle gets any tighter over the course of the next 9 laps or so.
We'll see. Troy Carricker weaving back and forth on Jason Phillips. That does not result in any gains, but it does. Playing peekaboo in the rearview mirror can sometimes have an advantage. Kendall Paul and Dylan Grutzmacher are battling for the 8th spot. There's Kendall on the inside. He's got Grutzmacher on the outside. They got Jim Duda behind him. Grutzmacher will yield, to Kendall Paul, and all this is doing, as these two tussle, is allowing Ryan O'Donoghue to close that gap. He's now trimmed it to 4 seconds. Remember, it wasn't that long ago, Caleb, that Dylan Grutzmacher and Kendall Paul were some 7 seconds ahead of Ryan O'Donoghue. Meanwhile, Matt Sizzler and Jason Phillips, they're all over one another.
Yeah, Sizzler actually had to look up the inside going into turn number 6 on Sean Roberts, but had to back out of it. That's where that gap has formed. He was all over the back of Sean Roberts, but right now, well, he gains all that time back in turn number 1. We got a 4-truck battle for the 4th place position. They are basically nose to tail 4 trucks in a row.
They do, and here's the thing. Here's the thing to me, Caleb. This track is so small, there's really nowhere to hide. You're going to have battles for position here just because of how small the track is. It's very difficult, even for a 19-truck field, to get spread out here. Sean Roberts, he's got the 4th spot. He wants to keep it, but Matt Sizzler, he's in a points deal. He wants to stay in there. Troy Carricker is on the fringes of that. He'd like to have a good finish. Carricker drops a wheel off in the grass, and he just about did what Ryan O'Donoghue did earlier. Sizzler, though, looked like he was going to send it up the inside. He thought better of it. Around we go one more time. 7 to go now at Lime Rock.
This with road course racing, especially in the stock, any sort of stock car, it ebbs and flows because any little mistake you make on a road course doesn't cost you about, maybe a half a tenth or even, a couple hundredths like it does on the oval. It costs you full tenths of a second. So that's why you see the ebb and flow of Matt Sizzler, Sean Roberts, Troy Carricker. Say Lewis Hayes right in front of them into that wall there, but this battle is ebb and flowing. It gets wider, it gets closer. Sean Roberts looks like he's pulling away from Sizzler just a little bit, but you'll probably see Sizzler get all that time back in another portion just because of being a little bit smoother than Sean Roberts in other areas.
Yeah, it is. Sean Roberts has used the tussle between Sizzler and Phillips to gain a little bit of breathing room. Jason Phillips has also pulled about 3 car lengths over Troy Carricker. This is the best battle on the course, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Kendall Paul and Dylan Grutzmacher have separated a little bit. Ryan O'Donoghue is now 2 seconds, less than 2 seconds behind Kendall Paul. He is coming, but does he run out of laps, Caleb? When he gets close, we'll put the camera on him because that is a big battle for positioning within the championship fight. As we watch the battle for position on the track, Logan Edwards is about 2 seconds ahead of Austin Hund. They've got 2 seconds back to Osterman, 2 seconds back to Roberts. So this is the best battle on the track. 5 laps to go at Lime Rock.
5 laps to go. Sean Roberts has pulled over probably about 3 to 4 car length advantage over Matt Sizzler. We talk about the championship battle. Matt Sizzler currently in that 4th place spot. He's got a win on the season already back at Watkins Glen, another road course. And there's only been, we have already had 3 road courses on the schedule. Last week at San Diego, Logan Edwards won that. Well, he's leading this one. Matt Sizzler, he won Watkins Glen. Well, he's currently in the 5th place position, trying to get 4th. And then a one-off in the Roval, Nathan Nicholson winning that one. So we've had 3 different winners on the road courses, but a lot of good results from the championship, the top 5 championship. They've had good results on the road courses in this season. But right now, Logan Edwards, well, he's known as the road course ace, and right now he's going to close that gap and possibly even overtake the lead of the championship here at Lime Rock.
Yeah, it's worth noting Kendall Paul, the championship leader, is in the 9th spot, and there is not that big of a gap between those 2 drivers. Kendall Paul entered today with an 8-point advantage over Logan Edwards. Logan Edwards has definitely scored more stage points. Jason Phillips, he dropped tires in 3 consecutive corners off in the grass. He gets loose coming over the top of the hill and somehow still stays ahead of Troy Carricker. But that truck is bad out of shape, Caleb. He's going to have to fight it for about 5 more miles.
He will indeed, but it's going to be close when these guys come together. Troy Carricker got a very good run through that final corner, dropped a few his left side tires off into the grass there, sends it really, really deep on the brakes. He's riding the rear bumper of Jason Phillips out in front. Does he have anything? Does he try to perform any cutbacks going through this S's section? Unfortunately, he goes a little bit wide through the left-hander, drops a few truck lengths back, and now Jason Phillips, well, he makes a little mistake, and Troy Carricker is right back on the rear bumper here, Murph.
Yes, he is. Troy Carricker is not going to let that battle go away. He definitely wants to improve that spot again. Championship points here are at stake. Logan Edwards looking to become the championship leader. Ryan O'Donoghue trying to salvage what's been a difficult day. Matt Sizzler trying to pick up some points on O'Donoghue. So too is Austin Hund. Justin Osterman trying to secure his place within the chase. And so for these guys, and around finally goes Jason Phillips almost. Troy Carricker gets past. And Jason Phillips has been trying to spin that truck out for at least the last 5 laps. He finally does it, and that'll demote him to 7th and into the clutches of Dylan Grutzmacher. Meanwhile, Ryan O'Donoghue has caught Kendall Paul, and he is all over the back of the 78. I mean, he is there.
He is indeed. Do want to point out Jason Phillips just spun out again, and right now this might be a few positions for Ryan O'Donohue and Kendall Ball. Yes, it is. So Kendall, they're both able to gain positions on the second to last lap here, and that's going to help their championship a little bit. But I still think it's at the point where Logan Edwards is still going to take the championship lead when this is all said and done.
Oh, for certain, sure. For certain, sure. We're going to keep it here. Logan Edwards is on his final tour of Lime Rock. We'll see what Ryan O'Donohue does at the end of the front straight. Is he going to try to outbrake Kendall Paul, or is he going to follow him through? He's going to follow him through. Both trucks break very late. Logan Edwards has 2 seconds in hand over Austin Hunt. O'Donohue to the inside at the exit of turn 2. Can't quite get the power down effectively through turn 3. He'll have to follow Kendall Paul through turn 4 and up toward turn 5, and he's really only got one more shot to make this work as Logan Edwards comes through, takes the checkered flag. Both trucks big loose over the brow, Caleb, headed toward 6 and 7.
Yeah, O'Donohue dips his tires a little bit into the left-hand side there going into the entry of 6. He's got one more chance there. He's got the run going out to the front straightaway. They're going to go side by side, but Ryan O'Donohue gets a little bit loose, and Kendall Paul is able to hold on into that 8th place position. O'Donohue in 9th. Jason Phillips rounds out your top 10.
Logan Edwards already well into the victory celebration. As he does, there's Polish victory laps, Caleb, and then there's Logan Edwards victory laps, and that's for Logan. It's drive a lap in reverse. And so this is your Rogue Energy winning moment. You go to rogueenergy.com, use promo code AMA24. You get 10% off your order. That's rogueenergy.com, AMA24, 10% off. Logan Edwards is your winner at Lime Rock. He continues along in reverse. Is he going to make the full lap, Caleb?
I don't know. He might accidentally. Well, he's in the final corner now. I imagine he would.
Final set of course. That takes talent right there. Austin Hunt's second. Justin Osterman rounds out your podium. Sean Roberts, Matt Sisler, your top 5. Carricker, Gretzmacher, Kendall Paul, Ryan O'Donohue, and Jason Phillips, the remainder of the top 10. In 11th, John Houchins, Matt Wagner 12th, Lewis Hayes 13th, Jim Duda comes home 14th. Out of the race, David Dunwoody, Ted Craven, Matthew White, Jeremy Dunwoody, Paul Witt, and Andrew Gates. All right, my man, we've got the replays queued up. We've got everything where it needs to be. And we're just waiting on Justin Osterman to appear in the waiting room. He is not in the Discord, so we'll give Osterman a minute. And instead of Justin Osterman, let's bring in Austin Hund. Austin, you've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
There, I got.
I'll tell you what, that was a wild affair. You started out that final stage in the lead with the lead after the penalty to Logan Edwards. Were you surprised at how quickly he got back to you, and what was your plan to try to hold him off?
No, I wasn't surprised at all, and I honestly didn't plan on holding it off. I was just gonna let him do his thing. Once he got a run, I was gonna let him go and just ride behind him.
Smart decision. Championships are won by moves like that. So commend you for not fighting it. Right, Caleb. What do you have for Austin Hund this evening?
Well, it seemed like the trucks. Well, with this combo of Lime Rock in this configuration, it seemed like it was very hard to navigate the rear end of the truck and try to keep it stabilized. How did you find it out there managing the rear end of this truck around here?
Yeah, I mean, just trying to be super easy on the throttle. Like you said, they were quick to jump around on you, so you definitely have to be mindful of the throttle pedal tonight.
Well, you were mindful enough. You bring it home a fine second. You score a ton of valuable points. You're going to move up closer to the championship lead with Kendall finishing near the rear of the top 10. So kudos to you, Austin. Thank you for stopping in, stopping by. You know the drill by now. Friends, family, sponsors. Shout them out, my man.
Yeah, the wife for holding the fort down while I do it. Jim over there, 4D Racewear. Guys for putting it on so we can go back and watch it. Kendall for running the whole league. That's about it.
Absolutely. Well, Austin, thank you so much for stopping in, stopping by. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
100%. That is Austin Hunt. And now we'll flip back and grab Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman. Justin, you've got Murph. You've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. You hear us?
Yes, sir.
So, up and down day. At one point, I think you lost some spots on pit road. You were back at sixth. Kind of a wild restart in the third stage. Got you back to the podium, and you bring it home with a fine third. Talk to us about your run today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what was up, but that 53 Black Magic Chevy was just hooked tonight. I mean, I'm comfy on road courses and stock cars anyways, but just something about tonight. I don't know, man. We had a really good drive, and then just usual, just stepping on our own foot and whiffing a little bit. I got together with somebody, one of the lap cars or whoever. I don't know who it was, but that kind of whoopsie daisied our day a little bit. But I mean, it was kind of it was a good day to come on the podium. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about tonight, to be honest. I really don't.
There you go, Caleb. What say you for Mr. Osterman this evening?
Well, it seemed like a lot of the drivers out there were struggling with rear end grip, and I'm basically gonna ask the same question as I did Austin earlier. How did you find managing the rear end of this truck, given the nature of how Lime Rock is?
It honestly, that was a huge part of tonight, and that was like number one note. I know I did pretty good stage one pacing, and then that little side by side half a lap with Logan, I was really pushed it there, and I was like, all right, I'll let him have it. And then I figured I'd pace with him, and then when Donahue was up there with us, I was really trying to stay ahead of Donahue because that's a job in itself. But you do really those rears tonight were so key, and I felt like if you could manage the first 10 laps and not really spin them, then just kind of hang with whoever's in front of you, pace them, wait for them to make little mistakes. Like Logan made a few, I caught back up to him tonight and thought I had something for him, but just usual whiffed myself. You're right, those rears were huge tonight. And Lime Rock just eats tires anyways. It's a rough surface, so you just kind of had to really be mindful of your entries and exits, really. And that's what I was really trying to focus on because I was watching Logan. If he was pulling on me, it was on exits, and I was like, all right, we got to get better on exits. And that's what I really tried to spend that second stage doing, and it worked out for a little while till it didn't. So it was a good night. We'll take a podium.
There you go. Well, on the podium you are, Justin. Thank you so much for stopping in and stopping by. You know the drill by now. Friends, family, sponsors. Shout them out, my man.
Yes, sir. I want to thank Black Magic, everything they do for me. Carry All RC on the hood. Outland Custom Arms. Proud to have them with us. Randy, we miss you, buddy. Hopefully you'll be back soon. Thank Dugwoody, Brian, Colby, Kendall, John, James, everybody on the teams. Love running with them every night. Archway for the series. And SKP. I know we don't have it on the truck, but it's always good to have them with us too. And thank P1 for the broadcasting. Thank y'all in the booth. And that'll about do it for me.
Thank you so much, Justin. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
Yes, sir. We'll see you.
That is Justin Osterman. He runs third tonight, and for tonight's winner, we'll bring in the man who drives better in reverse than most people do. Ford's Logan Edwards, the old narc brain. I talked to you earlier, and between Caleb and I insulting each other, you said that you had a pretty good ride tonight. Talk to us about that. Talk to us about what it takes to be that good here at Lime Rock.
Technique. It's technique, as the lines are. I'd say it's pretty easy to figure out what the racing lines are here, but it's all about your pitch, your roll, your yaw, and just how you manage that, because so many long corners and multi-apex turns like 1 and 2. It really just takes managing your stuff through there, because you could so easily just grate your tires along the whole track in those long turns and have nothing for the end.
Absolutely. I will now turn you over to the man who has the best questions in all of P1 broadcasting, Caleb Brashear. Caleb, have at it.
Well, since you seem to hate doing donuts for your victory celebration instead of doing something else, I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite type of donut since you don't like doing them in the trucks?
Chocolate. It's chocolate. I don't think there's really any other option.
You know, I got a piggyback on that. Where do you get your donuts from? Are you a Krispy Kreme guy, a Dunkin' guy? Is there a local place you go? Talk to us about where you purchase your donuts from.
Usually I just get them off the discount rack in the back of Walmart because they're cheap, and I can go through them quick with the help of my brother.
That's a very fair.
That's spoken like a true college student right there, man. Get the discount food off the get the cheap food off the discount rack and have at it. Well, you had at it tonight, my man. Dominant effort from you, Logan. I do have to ask, do we know what the penalty was for the third stage?
It was for speeding. I had it hit. It was hidden underneath an overlay, and I thought that I was just possessed by iRacing and just got the short end of the stick. But no, it was a speeding penalty. I was just a little too eager to get past Hunt there at the end and regretted it. But it didn't seem to stop me too much.
There you go. Well, you led 81 of 100 laps here tonight, Logan. You bring home the flag and the trophy. With those things, you get the mic. Friends, family, sponsors. Go ahead, my man. You've earned it.
Shout out to Team I5G, all my friends in the iRacing IndyCar community. Shout out to P1 Broadcasting for putting the shows on. Shout out to the AMA for putting the league on. That's it. Yeah.
There you go, Logan. Well, thank you so much for stopping in and stopping by. Keep going fast, having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
You too, Murph. See y'all.
Absolutely. That is the old narc brain, Logan Edwards. He'll come home the winner tonight. And Caleb, that was pretty dominant from one of the best road racers in the business.
Yeah, one of the best road racers, not only in the AMA but across iRacing in general. You know, he's got wins in Indy, in multiple leagues at this point on the IndyCar side. He's basically a jack of all trades when it comes to iRacing as well. You know, he'll dabble in like GT3s, the IRL1s, stock cars. He basically will do everything, and he's kind of good at anything he does. And in the road course side, at least in the AMA, I said earlier, well, coming into this race, Logan was he had 8 starts and ended up winning 5 of them, and one of those in the Grand National Series. This is a pretty cool statistic. He's actually top 5 in all-time wins in the Grand National Series and he's only had 4 wins, and they were all on one-off races in the road courses. So Logan really knows like how to handle any vehicle on iRacing, especially when it comes to the road courses.
Yes, he does. And if you want to continue to see vehicles being handled, keep it right here on P1. A special presentation Sunday night. The Area 51 Super Speedway Series honors Jim Brooks with a truck race at Talladega. Right now, we have that tentatively set for an 8 o'clock start, but it may be 7, and so we will update it. And that's a great way to point out that when those time slots get updated, if you're a subscriber to the channel, you get a notification so you don't miss any of the action right here on P1. We are off on Saturday, Monday night, and that race will take place Sunday night. On Monday, it's the IndyCar Open Series Monday night top split at 8, followed by the Indy Next Road Series top split at 10. Tuesday, we've got the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night's top split at 8:15, The Area 51 IndyCar Series returns their 21st season, ladies and gentlemen. 21st. That is longest continuously run IndyCar Series in iRacing, 9:30 p.m. And they'll be joined by the Indy Next Oval Series Tuesday at 9:30 as well. Wednesday, it's the Formula Indy Series Pocono 300. They'll be live at 8:20. Still a couple of weeks yet for Horizon to return. Thursday night, we're off, Caleb. No race Thursday. Friday, it's the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. And it'll be live from North Wilkesboro. Race number 15 on the season, 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 start. We do want to thank all of the fans in the stands for your support. Keep those chats coming. Do want to thank the drivers on the track, and we really want to thank the people that really make it possible, the military, the police, the firemen, the EMTs driving the ambulance, and Caleb, the nurse that unloads you when you get there. From the bottom of our heart, we thank you all, and we will see you Sunday night, the Jim Brooks Memorial from Talladega.